Hello students. In this video, we're diving into the exciting and magical world of fractions. Fractions are not only important in math, but they also pop up all the time in everyday life, whether you're sharing pizza or measuring ingredients for baking. So, what exactly is a fraction? Imagine you have something and need to share it equally. A fraction helps you do that. A fraction is written in the form of x by y, where y can't be 0. The top part, x, is called the numerator, and it tells us how many parts we have. The bottom part y is the denominator, which tells us the total number of equal parts that make up the whole. For example, in the fraction 3 by 11, the 3 tells us how many parts we're talking about, and the 11 tells us that the whole is split into 3 equal parts. Now let's talk about the different types of fractions. First, we have unit fractions, where the numerator is always 1, like 1 by 2 or 1 by 3. Then, we have proper fractions, where the numerator is smaller than the denominator, like 1 by 2 or 3 by 4. Improper fractions are just the opposite, the numerator is larger than the denominator, like 4 by 3 or 7 by 5. And finally, mixed fractions combine a whole number and a proper fraction. For example, 1 by 2 is a mixed fraction. Using fractions in a number line. Imagine a number line divided into equal segments. For example, if you're showing 1 by 2, you divide the space between 0 and 1 into 2 equal parts. This helps you see exactly where fractions live on the number line, and it makes them easier to understand. But what about when we need to change the way a fraction looks? Let's say you have a mixed fraction, like 1 by 3, and you want to convert it into an improper fraction. Here's what you do. Multiply the whole number by the denominator, then add the numerator. So, 1 by 3 equals 2 times 3 plus 1 by 3. That gives you 7 by 3. But what if we have to convert an improper fraction to a mixed fraction? Just divide the numerator by the denominator. The quotient becomes the whole number, and the remainder becomes the new numerator. Now let's talk about finding equivalent fractions. These are fractions that may look different but actually represent the same value. You can find equivalent fractions by multiplying or dividing both the numerator and denominator by the same number. For example, 4 by 8 is equivalent to 1 by 2 because they both represent the same part of a whole. Sometimes, you'll want to simplify fractions to their simplest form, which means the numerator and denominator have no common factors other than 1. For example, 24 by 56 isn't in its simplest form because both the numerator and denominator can be divided by 8. So, 24 divided by 8 by 56 divided by 8 equals 3 by 7. When you do that, it becomes 3 by 7, which is in its simplest form. Now, fractions can also be like or unlike. Like fractions have the same denominator. And unlike fractions have different denominators. To work with unlike fractions, like when adding or subtracting, we first convert them to like fractions by finding a common denominator. Speaking of adding and subtracting, let's dive into how we can do this with fractions. When adding or subtracting like fractions, you just add or subtract the numerators while keeping the denominator the same. But for unlike fractions, we need to convert them to have the same denominator first. Once we do that, the process is the same as like fractions. If you have mixed fractions, don't worry. You can add or subtract them by converting them into improper fractions. Now, here's a question for you. If you have a collection of colored balls and 4 out of 15 of them are green, what fraction represents the green balls? Share your answer in the comments. The complete curriculum for Class 6 is available on our channel. Check out all the links provided in the description below. Please make sure to like, share, and comment for more such videos.